Hi, this is Venkat again. Today we'll talk about human nature. Right? This is a story about two men in a hospital. Two men who were both ill shared actually a same room in the hospital, and one of them had a bed next to a window. The other man had on the other side. So there was only one window in the room. And this man who was beside the window, he could sit. I mean, he was sick, but he could sit for about an hour every day, and then he could see outside the window. The other man, he couldn't actually sit. He was lying all the time because of his illness. Now, over time, both of them started, getting bonded to each other, and they started talking for hours on their jobs, about their families and all other matters. One day, the man on the other side of the window expressed that, he was envious about this man who was beside the window, that he at least had a window where he could see. From that day, this man who was beside the window, started describing what he could see in the outside world. He said, he could see wonderful things from outside. There's a well-maintained, beautiful park with all beautiful flowers around. There's a lake there, and there are ducks in the lake, and there are children who are playing, and the children are actually, sailing their boats in the small their model boats in their lakes. And then he was describing how people walk on the pathways amidst those beautiful flowers. He could also see the skyline at a distance. The man on the other bed, he started, living, based on that 1 hour, because that was very lively and visualizing for him. And then he was really enjoying that 1 hour, and he would actually look forward to that 1 hour when this gentleman used to see through the window and then describe the outside world to him. And that's the only source for him to know how the outside world was. Then, one evening, the man saw through the window, and he described that there was a parade passing by in the adjacent lane, the lane next to the park, and he described how beautifully and organized the band was, and how nice the music was from that. This gentleman who was on the other side couldn't actually hear the band, but he could actually visualize it, vividly, as illustrated by the man who was beside the window. And this kind of description continued for several weeks, and they used to get engaged in these discussions. And one day, the nurse came for a morning visit to examine, as usual, the two patients, and she found the man beside the window dead. So, they disposed his body. They took the body away, and it was disposed. The other man, who had his company for several weeks now, actually, was very aggrieved about and very, very depressed about the death of his roommate, and he lost a good companion there. A few days passed by, and he was alone in that room on that side of the bed. Then he actually requested the nurse if he could be moved to the other bed beside the window, so that he could enjoy the outside world, what the other man had described all these weeks. So then the nurse agreed, and this man was thrilled, and then he was moved there. And once he settled down, and with great difficulty, he propped up to have a first look to the outside world. The nurse watched the man attempted, to sit after several weeks. He was always on the bed. He made so much of effort to sit and then trying to peep through the window. And when he actually peeped through the window and saw, he was actually shocked to see a blank wall. There was nothing but a blank wall on the other side. This really agitated him, saying that, when did this wall come up? And he asked the nurse, did this wall come up newly? When was this built? The nurse said, no, this has always been there. Then, he couldn't realize why, his roommate had lied to him and then had described him all the wonderful things in the world. Because he could not see anything, except the wall there. The nurse actually looked very sympathetically, understanding the man's, concern and the way he was. Then she said, it's possible that your roommate genuinely wanted to keep you happy by giving you a beautiful view of the outside. But I also want to add that your roommate was blind, so he couldn't actually see. Now, with this story, what are the learnings? Number one is the importance of hope. The man beside the window actually was, giving hope to his roommate and trying to offer him the glimpses of life beyond the hospital walls, right? And in challenging times, hope can actually be a powerful driving force, that keeps us going. So even in adversity, it helps you to overcome that. The second learning I take from this is the power of human connection. So the deep bond that grew between the two roommates showed the significance of human connection in times of adversity, because they did not have any other companion for most of the day or night, and they engaged themselves in a good human connect. The conversation and the experiences brought comfort and understanding, which actually enriched their lives, even if it's for a short durations, during the confines of their hospital room. This actually has a profound impact, and on meaningful relationships, and how genuine connections can uplift spirits and provide strengths even during the challenging moments in our lives. Now, the questions I have for you today is, have you ever, considered the importance of giving hope to anybody in your lives? I'm sure you have. What were those instances? Can you narrate them, or can you at least list them down, right? And what kind of human connect have you established, let's say in the last 30 days, with anybody around, and tried to actually, get a deep bond and change their lives if at all they were in some difficult circumstances and situations? Please think about it and do respond in the comments below, so that I can read, and it could, enlighten everybody who is watching this video. And that's all for today in this video. Right? If you like this video, please do click the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel, so that you will be able to get notified as soon as a new video is released. And that's all for today. This is Venkat again signing off. Take care and goodbye.